It's getting late here in Seoul, and we are about to start the second match of the night. It's going to be Jin Air Green Wings versus SK Telecom T1. I am Valdez. With me tonight is Wolf. We got a really awkward picture there to boot.
It's great. It's because, like, in that picture initially, you're, like, over Sojung's shoulder or something like that. It's a group
Something
picture.
like
You got
that.
photoshopped
I hope
out.
so.
Big story for Jin Air here is the upset of them losing to Samsung 0-3.
Losing, you mean getting shreked. Terran's over there making quick work of Jin Air, who didn't have the best day.
Now, SKT, on the other hand, I mean, these guys are on top. They're on top in points. They've already secured a spot in the grand finals. Even if they got last place this round, they would still be in the grand finals. So they're in an incredible position.
Awkward handshake there from Classic. Maru gave him the very polite bounce of Classic, barely grabbed his hand and looked away and stuff. It's going to be an interesting first match here. Maru, known as the killer of Protosses, but he just got knocked out of a heavy Protoss group in round of 16 of Star League, something you would never expect.
Having some trouble with Zest there in that series, and I feel like Classic and Zest play somewhat similarly, actually, in this matchup.
Well, what Zest was doing against Maru was just going super aggressive, not letting him play macro style at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if Classic takes a page out of that book. Classic, more so known to be a bit passive, especially in PvZ, but as well as PvT. And I don't know. I'm very curious for this match. I really think it could go either way. I voted for Classic. A lot of people voted for Maru, reasonably so. But
it's a really tough match to call. Classic just won Star League. I mean, it was still pretty recent, that win that he took. So that's an important starting point here for Classic going to this. But Maru, incredible at killing Protosses without even using Vikings, killing Colossi with Marauders alone. So there's a lot of different ideas as to who would win this matchup. I think it's very close. It's going to be the match, I feel, that leads the momentum going into this series. I mean, whoever wins this one is going to put their team into, I feel, a massive advantage, because every other game could go either way.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. But that's only the first match of the night. Game 2 will be Rogue versus Innovation. That should be a fantastic ZVT on Terraform. And we go into SOS versus Sue, PvZ. SOS has got a pretty fun PvZ style. Sue, you can say the same about him in ZVP. And then we got Cure, a guy who's not really doing that well recently. He used to be so incredible against Zerg, but definitely has fallen off in recent times against Dark.
Yeah, I feel like if that was the in-form Cure, this would be an insanely close match. Let's see how he plays today. I think most people would favor Dark. And look at SKT's arrows. Their indicated arrows always going upwards.
Yeah. Imagine if they get a 3-0 tonight, that could be 3 red arrows the next time they come out.
SKT, I think it's totally possible they actually go undefeated this entire round. Sue's going for his 12th straight win in Pro League.
What?
And Maru's throwing against Protoss is, like we were talking about already with Star League.
I wouldn't say he's struggling just yet. It was just that one day everybody was super stressed out and nervous, something the likes we never really see of. Stats gave one of his worst performances yet. I mean, he was going up against a crazy group, of course, but he just looked like, I don't know, he was falling apart a bit. Even Zest did as well. His skin wasn't looking good. He just looked super stressed out, but he still pulled it through. Maru towards the end losing twice, I believe, to Zest, winning against Stats, I think.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, getting knocked out in the round of 16 and even showing a bit of emotions towards the end.
Only Observer PC in parentheses there, just to remind everyone again, because a lot of people are feeling like the clocks were removed from the players. The reason why is because there's a lot of betting sites where actually players will bet on certain time periods, like no unit dies in the first 5 minutes, the game will end in 12 minutes, so say a player could all in, because whether he wins or he loses, the game ends in 12 minutes, right? So this now removes the ability for betting sites to use that timer as a legitimate source of when the game ended. Yeah. So
now they have to do just a little bit of extra work to create their own timer, but I suppose every little bit helps.
Definitely creates some more controversy. I don't know how long this ruling will stay in place, but I don't think it's a bad thing. 15-7 Maru, incredible record, 8-1 versus Protoss. So even if you look at his most recent issues in the matchup in Pro League, still an incredible record. He kills Protosses without Vikings. He does it so well.
Yeah. He's the guy who made that style very popular. And very curious to see how he's going to do today. Is he going to be reeling after that loss, or is he going to just like fall apart? Looks a little bit down on himself today, but you usually can't really judge the emotions of Maru. He's not really the best at showing them.
He often looks like he has big problems with his wrist, which he's said in interviews does bother him sometimes. But when he has these looks on his face and he's messing with his wrist, he still just comes and wrecks people. So he can't even take any stock in any of this.
You know, he's just flexing before he punches this guy in the face. That's what he's doing.
Classic with the awkward handshake you mentioned earlier. Perhaps a bit of nerves going to this. He's also flawless versus Terran. This first match is really incredible. The more I look at it, I'm like, whoa. 10-3 in Pro League, Star League champion. Needs to be wearing his pin, man. We're not wearing these pins.
It's Star League champion of Season 1 versus Star League champion of Season 2.
Yep.
And these guys are so good in this particular matchup as well. Just titans of their teams. Like, it really can't be stated anymore. Like, this is the highlight match of the night for me, by far.
Yeah. It's the hardest match to call, and it's just so difficult to say one way or the other who's going to win this one. And I feel like the one who wins this is going to be the only secure win the other team could really take, because every other match really could go either way. Even though the fourth one is slightly favored towards Stark, Kira could win that. This is a very important momentum-based match here that we're going to start things off with.
Definitely is. The map is going to be Echo for these two players. Let's jump into game number 1 now between Maru and Classic. Down the bottom right here in the green for the Gen Air Green Wings, it is Maru.
His birthday today, I think.
Yes, it is.
18 in Western Age. The top left, it's Classic in orange, repping SKT as the starting player. Looking very handsome today.
Yeah, looking good. I think these GG girls are better at drawing compared to the ones we had yesterday.
Representing his win at the Star League. Yeah. Like you said, both these players are Star League champions. Both of them having in common that they defeated Dream there.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, actually.
But,
Classic once again defeating a teammate. But Maru just defeating a Terran buddy.
Classic being the more recent champion. Maru having a bit more trouble in Season 2. Now, Classic had a rough time in Kespa Cup, which he cited both in interviews and publicly on Twitter that he cited towards map imbalance against Protoss.
That was actually his last big match against Terran.
That's true.
That was against Flash. I looked at the stats. There were some like online results, maybe like one game of Pro League, but I don't think so. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And
he also just won IEM Shenzhen, but that was not like that. The level of that tournament was definitely nowhere near whenever in-house Korean tournaments. It's almost
I think it was near the level of in-house Korea, but only for PvP.
Yeah,
he was playing against like Hero and
Rain, and then ended up beating Parting in the finals. But yeah, not PvT. Totally out of that tournament for him. Yeah, it's just Classic in so many ways. In results, looks favored here. I just love Maru's TVP. It's just so hard to actually call. It's like an unstoppable force hits an immovable object sort of game that we're going to see here. Like, I can't imagine that one of these players is going to lose.
Look at that. It actually blocks the Reaper from jumping up that ledge.
It's the next evolution of Reaper blocking. We've seen it just evolve further and further.
It's true. We've seen it on the high ground. You make an extra building there, you totally wall that off, but he's not even going to let him get on the first ledge.
He's already going to start the fight against his SCV to secure that Nexus placement as well.
Looks like Maru may just let him do it.
Yeah.
There you go. Nexus coming down. Same for Maru. He's making that reactor as well. Everything looking very normal here in this game.
I'm going to block this second assimilator, which is pretty annoying. I think something that he can get a small advantage with this SCV with. Not for long, of course, because it doesn't regen. But this is still very annoying. Ooh, that was sick. He actually needs that pylon as well. Like, that was like a well-timed pylon. He's not going to cancel that.
Yeah.
Oh, he could actually lose that SCV. Oh, the Mothership Core so close, so dangerous. The Reaper stays at home because he saw that pylon. He's no doubt seen this before. This is not like a revolutionary thing.
Look at this, man.
The meta has changed, Valdez.
Welcome to TVP 2015 July. This is where we're at.
You know, it's so funny because this is my personal take on this, and tell me what you think. I feel like the reason why this has become a thing is because the best pro bosses in the world have become much more tame, much less aggressive.
Yeah.
Some fangirls here, some big Samsung fans actually. We saw them earlier, getting really excited to see those players in the photo shoot and stuff. But I feel like some of the best pro bosses we have in the world have become much less aggressive. The Blink meta is over. We don't see Blink feign into third base play anymore. We don't see Blink all-ins anymore.
Yeah, so we see the Stargate much more often, actually.
And Terrans seem to be getting a lot more comfortable with defending against these Stargate plays, these Oracle openers. And do you think that perhaps, say in the coming weeks, we'll see a return to that Blink meta to sort of counter this again?
I definitely think it's possible. With this kind of build, you still get those 3 racks, but you get them just a bit later. We've seen Terrans try to go a bit greedy, and sometimes they get away with it. I think Flash may have even gone for just like straight up tech right after the 3. But it was, of course, on a different map. It was against a different player. Maru not really going to take that chance. But I definitely agree with you. It's kind of what we were talking about in that Keen game. Although this kind of thing where we see the CC in the main is a lot more common.
Yeah.
Seeing it down there at the third base is just incredibly greedy, and usually a better Protoss player will scout it and will punish you for it. So,
wow, Classic is actually just going to go for his own blind third Nexus, it looks like. Checks it, make sure it's unscouted. The meta has officially changed. Like, let it be written.
Maru versus Classic has happened. This is the way they're playing. The meta is changed.
Flash versus Hero, I feel the first big game we saw this change, and now it's just all over the place. Leaving the Oracle at home for a bit here.
I guess he's just going to use it for detection here in case some Widowmines come in. But
yeah. You know what? I really like this because if it's a fast third CC, then yeah, he didn't do that much damage, but he already counters it with a Nexus placed at the third. And if it's a Widowmine play, he just counters it with the Oracle being at home. It's a really nice response. And now that he sees that it isn't a Widowmine drop, he can actually go use this for a little bit of scouting, a little bit of harassment. And Maru won't be expecting it to come in this late, and it's going to have more energy as well.
Yeah, I think there was one Protoss who did it on, I think it was Hero actually against Bomber just yesterday, that actually made 2 Oracles and came in on Vonnie Research Station, did an obscene amount of damage, and that was part of the reason why the follow-up push from Bomber was so weak, even though he had gotten that third CC out so fast. But Classic just going to go with 1, going to get ahead in a different way, try to get his tech up behind it.
1 kill already, going to get 2. Very difficult considering the defense here for Maru is quite tight. His eBay was a bit late, but you know he doesn't need it, obviously, with this many Marines out at this point. An Immortal follow-up for defense, it looks like most likely, into that Forge. The third base is already saturated, so he's going to have a huge boost of extra minerals to dump into these Zealots he's going to want to make. Currently on 3 gateways, with the 4th nearly finished. He's going to kill this cooling tower to make the attack approach a lot more difficult, and he's also constantly checking where this Terran army is with that Oracle. Always spawning it, always threatening with it.
Yeah, if it ever moves out, he can just come in once again and do this. This is what happens when you forego that turret. It finally comes down, but it only covers the left side, but there are Marines on the right for now.
It does allow Maru to continue to push forward, though, and he is going to do so. That's the most important thing, is they didn't turn back in that moment. Had he turned back, this would have allowed 1 more warp in. Another Immortal's about to pop out, but it's not ready yet. Force fields are so important here, as well as Immortal targeting. And Maru does not have stim. It just finished.
Yeah. The positioning, though, of Classic is fantastic. If he ever needed to, he could put down a bunch of emergency force fields and really cut this off. Like, 5 sentries is a lot to make this early on in this matchup, but it'll help him out with the builds that are happening in this game.
Wow, I really love this meta, actually. This is so much more fun to watch than what we normally see.
Oh, yeah. It was always like, how much damage is the Protoss going to take to the Widowmines? Yeah. Does he take a lot? Well, the game is over. Does he not? Well, then he's going to have a big army. It's going to be very hard for the Terran to come back.
Yeah. It's just hard to pressure after that if you commit to Widowmines.
Yeah.
Making another turret here because he knows that pesky Oracle is nearby.
Now it's like, what is the timing of the third base for the Protoss, and exactly how many kills is the 1 Oracle going to get in this game?
Well, if you look at the worker count, Classic is up 10 Harvesters. He's had this Nexus mining for a long time. Don't forget, of course, that Maru does have 3 mules for a long time as well with the faster orbital, so he does have some extra mining that's not really, you know, it's more mining that Classic couldn't get yet when his Nexus was still building, but I think the Nexus has been up for long enough that Maru is significantly behind in economy. He's just now powering up his extra barracks. The upgrades are about to be dead even, +1 armor to +1 attack for Classic having the armor. Starting to add some Widow Mines into his mix. It looks like he's going to do his first real attack here. He has the Medivacs to assist these Marauders if he wants to drop on top of that Colossus, but there's a lot of Zealots, and that Immortal, actually 2 Immortals take it back. Okay, targets it down. Good micro here by Classic. He's expecting this.
Yeah, man, he is
totally
prepared. Look at those force fields immediately plop down from the sky, and the Colossus gets microed back immediately. No damage sustained.
It's like the best TVP I've ever seen in Pro League. This game
and
is so good.
Not much has even happened. It's just you can tell the play styles of both these players are just so good.
They're so good. They both are. Like Maru's like, oh, I can't quite get it. He doesn't overcommit, doesn't lose too many units. And Classic's like, ha, I have all these Immortals to counter this. I know how you play. Oracle comes back in. He's got 8 kills, now 9.
Yep, this is that 13-minute Oracle timing. By the way, it is 13 minutes into the game, guys. Starcraft time.
Yep. Lucky 13 for that SCV. 4 Medivacs at the time he's producing, not making any Vikings, as is the way of Maru.
He's keeping that open, though. Against Zest, he was adding it in, and it didn't really work out for him. We'll see what he decides to do in this game. He definitely has that option, at least.
With this heavy Marine count, he's only just now starting to switch into 5 Marauder production. And with this heavy Marine count, he cannot hope to contest those Colossi. It's just not going to happen, especially with the Immortals to help out against Marauders dropping on top, and the flank, the positioning, not flank, but the fan out. Like how, the concave, I guess if you want to use the term that's accepted in StarCraft.
The spread.
The spread.
Well, let's not talk about betting here, Wolf. It's not allowed here.
Oh my God, I didn't say that.
Spread.
No spreads. He's talking about spreading that Protoss like jelly, man.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'll make his creep coverage when I cast a Zerg. War Prism is coming out to do some harass, but let's see if that lost Colossus production time is going to cost him, because Maru still does have this huge bio army. His Oracle now is up to 11 kills. I think he's going to sack it now because the Vikings find it.
Yeah, I guess 3 extra kills, not bad.
But yeah, like you said, he's keeping it a bit more open to making Vikings. And he is adding those in now. He has a massive medevac count. Most of those medevacs nearly at full energy because they've been out for so long, because they've been making them so long, much faster than his Vikings. He's going into that Ghost Academy.
I sure hope that Maru's not kind of lost in this meta. I don't think his old style is going to be as powerful with this kind of very early third base. He doesn't get that kind of Widow Mine damage down that he's used to. He's not able to do that very early trading with the Colossi anymore. And it allows the Protoss to get up the Storm relatively easily. I mean, Classic was just sitting back. He's got the cooling tower. He's got a fantastic spread, concave, if you will. Yeah. And, you know, he just sits and defends, and now he's got Storm. He's got 6 High Templar. It's a very scary place to be in for Maru now. I'm very curious to see how he's going to handle this.
Classic is playing a godlike game. So you just explained a lot of really cool things, so I'm glad you did. But during that moment, he hallucinated his Classic because he wanted to get rid of his sentries because he wanted to have a better maxed out army. That forced Maru to freak out. He actually thought they were really stimmed and chased them, which then allowed the Zealots to come in and do some extra damage. This is a maxed out Protoss army with sick upgrades, and there are not a lot of Vikings here. He has Storm as well. Where are the Ghosts? He's got a Ghost Academy. He's got 4 Ghosts, but they're not hitting EMPs, and this base is going to go down.
Where are they?
I don't know, man. They're not here. That's the most important thing, like you said.
They're there in the pack. Finally, we get our first shot of the Ghost. 4 of them coming in, but he's going to lose the CC. Oh, he could actually repair it.
Oh, my God. He doesn't. He just starts a new one. That one SCV could have done a different thing.
He's like, whatever.
He's like, I can't reach that high. Too short SCV.
Well, Classic going to get his own 4th base. We'll see if Maru can cancel that. He's definitely looking to put on the pressure, but at this point, there's so many Storms, so many Colossi remain.
Oh, wow. 2, 3 feedback kills. What? And look at these Storms over the wall. Yeah. Now going to blink and chase down Vikings. Maru's army looks defeated before the battle even starts.
Maru kind of looks lost here. He's trying to take engagements, but doesn't seem to have the best Ghost control. Classic shutting it down very early. He's now only on 2 Ghosts to 8 High Templar. 4 Colossi remain to only 9 Vikings. He can't really overproduce Vikings, but now Classic is secretly going into double Colossus production. which is very smart, by the way, because he's already got so many storms out on the field.
Look at how many cannons he's making. He knows this game is going late. He knows he's going to be dealing with big Marauder run-bys, possibly even nukes, cloak ghosts. Okay, no drop here. Oh my god, we're going to late game TVP. We very rarely see this in Korea. This is exciting.
Maru versus Classic as well.
Planetaries, extra orbitals. I think if this game continues at this current pace, man, we will see nukes.
I think Classic is going to look to end it. Nope. As I say, he's going to put down a 5th base and back off.
He's being a bit timid here.
Yeah, I think he's got a fantastic army. Right after he got all of those feedbacks, I think he should have engaged, but...
What he looks like he wants to do is utilize the fact that Maru's lacked a 4th base for so long. Look at Classic's bank. He's adding a ton of gateways.
3 Ghost Academies on the way.
Yep. There they are. So we're going to see nukes, but all the extra gates he's adding are going to allow him to use warp-ins to harass with warp prisms and also just to remax his army during a fight. The cannons are to counter Cloak on the Ghost from harassing, from getting in there. If he loses observers, Observer gets sniped. He has right now 3 observers on the map.
He's also got Observer speed. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad you pointed that out. Look at this. Storm's going down. He's actually just going to trade these High Templar for medevac kills, bio kills. Look at that supply. Got like 11 supply of units right there. Make that 13 for 2 High Templar. And he's got a bank to back this trading up.
Yeah. Also adding the Dark Shrine. Sometimes lesser Protosses will forget that as we go later into the game, but this can be such an effective harassing tool and defending tool against any kind of drops that come in from the Terran.
Yep. Okay, Storm's going down here. He's trying to zone this army out again.
Yeah, he's looking to poke just
so
a
many
bit.
ghosts. Oh, these feedbacks are so good.
Yeah, you can see Classic is pretty good with this High Templar control.
He's just not afraid to use them. He knows his army is so good that Maru can't really directly engage him, so what he can do is just simply run out in front with the High Templar. If Maru snipes it, it's okay. It's not like the hugest loss, but if he gets a good storm, kills so much bio, he continues to trade with his big, massive bank that he has, which, again, he's using now to add into extra shield upgrades, adding extra cannons.
Well, if we have 3 nukes out on the map, we have a 4th one about to come down. When was the last time we saw a nuke in Pro League? I would love to see that stat.
Yes, I can't remember, man. Probably 2014.
It's definitely from last year.
It's so difficult to engage into a planetary like this against EMPs. Okay, nuke is active. Here we go. First nuke is live. It's got cannons, actually, but they're not in position.
Classic's looking for it.
Okay, I think he knows, but he's just going to lose his cannons here. He pulls the probes out. But that's what these cannons are for.
Yep, there you go. He's going to have to use another nuke there. He wants to really put on the pressure onto that Nexus, but it looks like he's just going to try to get a good position here, possibly. No, just takes that up pylon and backs off.
Now, one of the reasons why a scary late-game Protoss army is hard to beat as a Terran is because as the game gets later and the more gas a Protoss amasses, the more Archons they can add. An Archon is just pretty much straight up better than a Stalker, and if you actually get a maxed-out army with, say, like 12 to 14 Archons, it starts to look like, PvP at Starcraft 1 or something, or PvZ, where you just got all these Archons. They do so much damage, they have so many hit points. It's so hard for the Terran to compete with that, because the Terran doesn't have an army unit that's supply efficient enough to do the damage an Archon can. It's going to kill these cannons again. Classic will likely replace them as soon as possible. It's actually going to queue up a second nuke here. Oh, he's going to try to zone this Protoss army out here. Classic will have to kill that.
Classic was moving into the nuke.
He needs to get out of there.
Looks like he just barely will.
Trapped. Oh!
That was close, man.
What a tease. Okay. He's trying to use these nukes as basically like Terran force field, trying to push that Protoss army out.
Oh,
he's going to engage this.
The storms are gigantic on that army. So many yellow and orange Terran's units there in the back, and still a lot of Colossi remain.
A storm on top of the Protoss army kills the last of the Vikings. Notice how quickly Classic's army is replenished with 14 Zealots warped in.
Look at that bank. Look at that bank. He's just got so much stuff. He could be adding an Archon, so he's just going to go for Colossi. It looks like he's taking out all the Vikings pretty much, so not a bad idea at this point.
A defensive nuke here. I don't know if Classic's, I'm not 100% sure where it is, I think, but it just decides to move back for safety. The nuke is canceled to make sure it doesn't do any damage to his CC, I guess. 3 nukes on the way. Only one Ghost Academy can only have 1 nuke active at a time. That's why he has to mass Ghost Academies for this. That's why the amount of nukes he has is limited. And they're actually starting to cost him some money, to be honest. But like I was saying before, and like you were talking about, there's no Terran unit that's like cost-efficient versus Archons. The EMP is the only thing that can beat Archons, basically. Decent EMP there before he died. Oh, and we're seeing a Stargate added. We might see Tempest actually in this late game.
Yeah. We do see actually a bunch more Vikings being added here, which are going to, of course, counter the Colossi, but if he catches this early enough, maybe he can make enough to deal with the Tempest. Still got that double reactor starport.
With this many ghosts, it's basically impossible to engage against the planetary. Against someone like Maru, right? Like Maru's micro, his control, his splitting, his EMP is so good. It's so hard to actually straight up fight that planetary. I think he's just going to have to find another way to engage. Now eliminating some of his own units to remax with better units, getting a Warp Prism. Maru is moving across the map, will be spotted here. Ooh, goes for EMPs on these, actually going to get the kills.
Yeah.
I can't believe
High Templar.
During all this time, Maru didn't have +3 armor for his units.
Yeah, that was definitely a mistake. Not sure how that happened. Dark Templar, he's going to pull that entire Terran army totally out of position here, and he's going to lose the planetary.
That's huge. That's one of Maru's best, most reliable sources of income right now. Oh, good cloak there to avoid getting feedback. Wow. Now trying to go for another nuke, this time behind the mineral line, using that scan for vision. He is in vision range of that cannon, so the DT is going to come and push him back. Yeah. Maru even sees it with the scan, so he cancels it.
Beacon on the way, 2 more Stargates.
Yeah.
+1 to air weapons.
He's looking for that late game.
Yeah.
But it might even be a while before you even see him add the Tempest. I think he just wants to continue to wear Maru down. Maru just does not have the bank to compete with Storms and the rest of these units. If he fights straight up, Classic can remax in Zealots so quickly.
Maru sees the space down here. He's like, oh, well, I guess I'll take this down.
There are 16 warp gates on the map. Just want to point that out. So he can spend half of his money to remax Zealots right now if he wants to.
Classic looking to possibly trap Maru there on the left side of the map. Big portion of his army coming over here. Nuke is going to go down.
Probes to evacuate here. Meanwhile, he's just going to re-queue the nuke. Looks like he wants to kill the Nexus with nuke fire.
He's going to need, I guess, 3 more, maybe 2 and some hits from the Ghost. But
these orbitals are so important, actually. Okay. He's also denying mining time with this, which is, you know, an important thing because Maru is starting to build his own bank.
6 nukes at a time. He's got 18 Ghosts on the map, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about that.
Uh-oh, that EMP might allow him to take a sick engagement. He's going to fight with his Vikings here. Oh, I think he could have changed some more sick EMPs into that. Looks like he's thinking about it. Might just start dropping nukes, you know? Start barraging these bases with nukes while he protects those Ghosts, this time with EMPs and Vikings.
Seems very Maru-like. You know, it's been a while since we've seen Maru in this super late game, but
now these Warp Prisms can actually allow him to drop High Templar and feed back like 8 Ghosts, you know, if he can get that off. Just slowly trying to nuke push towards this base. The Warp Prism is trying to find those EMPs. Here they come. Oh, he goes for Storm instead.
That's a couple of really great Storms there on all the Ghosts, but nothing to follow it up.
Ghosts have so many hit points.
Yeah.
And they're just healed here. They have 100 hit health. All right, another nuke. This one goes off and kills a few of those cannons. Oh, and this Nexus will go down. In fact, the probes are not paying attention. He could get a little bit more for his bargain here.
18
kills and the Nexus.
That's a pretty good bargain, Wolf.
All right, it looks like Classic has decided that he does not want to get bullied with this push anymore. He's going to start Tempest. He hesitated to remax there for a while. 4 Tempests are on the way. He does have +1 air weapons for them.
I think he should be getting more upgrades. He has the income for it. Or rather, not the income. He has the bank. He's running out of income. He's got that one base here.
Man.
Maru doesn't have much of an income either, keep in mind.
Maru is just killing these Nexi with nukes, and he's using Vikings to actually outposition those observers. Oh my god. He's going to kill this Nexus as well.
This is turning into an insane game.
I have to say, I think the Tempest might actually cause Classic to lose this game because they're depleting his bank. And he doesn't have an economy to remax gateway units. He needs gateway units to protect these.
Well,
let's see how many.
It's really going to come down to the Storms on the Vikings. If he can take out all the Vikings and all the Tempests remain with enough on the ground, I think Classic should be able to take it. Like, he's going to go up to 7 Tempests here at max.
Another nuke, I think, will actually kill that Nexus. No, he's going to need 2 more.
Yeah.
It's got 643 health. Oh, High Templar, hello, for free.
Full energy on both of those.
300 gas down the drain. Okay, he's just going to blast EMPs all over this army. The Classic cannot engage this, even with Tempest. He has to pull back.
Looks like he's getting a little bit desperate even. He's looking to end this. He wants to kill Maru, but he can't quite do it. He's going to stop that nuke from killing the Nexus.
It's just, yeah, it's almost like we're starting to see frustration emerge from Classic, something that's very rare. This is going to block this Protoss army out while he repositions. It's actually a smart choice. It's a Terran force field, man.
It's pretty cool.
It just totally zones this Protoss army out while he repositions and gets his other base up here to the top right. Just going to continue to do this, actually. This is so cool. He's like, get out of here.
It's been so long, man. It's been so long since we've seen this. By the way, we do have a big transition into a bunch of starports here from Maru. He has, of course, seen the Tempest, and he is going to respond.
Another nuke here, but this time the Tempests are going to pick him off. The Observer is still active. He actually takes this engagement.
He's looking for it. The EMPs hit pretty much everything except the High Templar in the back.
Yeah,
and High Templar from the right side getting some pretty good storms.
The Tempests are still at full health as well, but this nuke cannot be destroyed. Or can it? Oh, close call there. Now, the Vikings trying to take out these Observers. They are the key here. He's constantly trying to eliminate those.
He's got 3 more.
Oh, he's walking those ghosts too far forward.
He's taking out the Observers at the same time. The
Vikings
Vikings coming forward.
That Storm's so good on the Vikings. Now the Tempests have free reign at the back. And it looks like Classic is confident. He can actually just take this engagement straight up here now. There's a lot of Marus in the back. More EMPs go down. But there's still no answer for those Tempests at the rear.
They're doing so much damage in the back, and still more storms coming down.
And
Will there be enough Vikings on the ground? Or just enough stuff to take out all the Colossi?
Does he have an Observer? Okay, he still does.
Oh, he does. And the Colossi swipes take out so many of the ghosts. It looks like Classic has done it.
Look at Maru's face. He looks defeated. Look at the map. Look at the supplies. Everything about Maru looks defeated. What a sick game we just watched, though. GG.
GG. Classic will take down Maru here for SK Telecom in an unbelievable PVT, the likes of which we have not seen in possibly over a year.
Yeah, over a year, man. Oh, what a great game that was. Starting things off with game 1. Whoa. Wow. Okay, SKT takes the lead and takes the momentum. I feel like that's such an important win at the start of this game.
Yeah, it really is. I want to go back to one of the viewpoints that we had before the games. Is Maru in a slump against Protoss? I wouldn't call it a slump. I think just the meta is changing. I think he's too used to that old style, and he is trying to change. We can see it. Maru is still a fantastic player. I think give him like a week, maybe 2 at max. He'll be back. Don't worry, Maru fans.
I completely agree, actually. 100% with everything you just said. Like, the meta has changed. Like you said, we're like write it in the history books now. July.
Let it be known.
Late July 2015, TV meta has gone back to Wings of Liberty-esque.
On July 28th, we saw Maru make a bunch of Ghost Academies and nukes.
I wonder how many nukes in total he made that game. I'm sure somebody counted. It's got to be like upwards of maybe 40 or 50 probably.
Probably.
Now we're going into Rogue versus Innovation because, ladies and gentlemen, that was just game number 1.
Yeah. Those are the